Apart from me, you can do nothing. I have known about this promise, this principle for years and years, but like so many of the principles or the promises that you read at a certain time in your life, whether it was significant or just something that you were intrigued about, I can never get over the fact that each time my husband brings that to mind, that particular promise or principle, how it takes on a brand new meaning. It's like, well, probably it's because his word is alive, it's alive, it's living, it's constantly feeding us and energizing us and blessing us and renewing our minds. Um, and it just never stops. And so today, being very, very tired, I didn't get much sleep. I haven't gotten much sleep at all. And you know how that just makes you, when you're weak, then you're strong. That's another promise. That whole promise, apart from me, you can do nothing, has taken on a far greater significance. It's just very significant right here and now. And it might be something that you also are thinking, wow, that is so true. And the thing is that we may be able to do it. We may be able to accomplish it and struggle with it and get it done. But ultimately, if he isn't the one who does it, it just doesn't have substance. It's, several places in the New Testament, it talks about things being burned up and the things that we do in the flesh. Ultimately, it has to go through the fire, and what is left. And I thought about that because my family and I, well, mostly it was just the younger three in our family, we had to face going through a fire where we lost our home. Now, thankfully, we didn't lose everything, but the front portion of our house was pretty much either destroyed by fire or by the water when they were putting out the fire. And so I think about that. And when things are burned up in a fire, that only the solid things, gold would remain. It's pretty gruesome, but when there's somebody who's been I won't even go there. I'm just gonna, since I can't even come up with the words, apart from him, I can do nothing. So I'm not going to allude to it. But I think that things that are solid, no matter how hot the fire is, that those perfect things, those solid things, those things that are going to remain will remain. Everything else will go away. So I just want to encourage you today. I want to keep these very short. I think we're all so busy. Besides the fact, it's hard to meditate on one thing. And if you can just get that one thing, this one promise, this one principle, this one concept, this one truth into your heart and your soul, and you meditate on this day and night, you're going to succeed in it. And there's really no better one. It's talking about that he's the vine and we're the branches, and apart from me, you can do nothing. So think of it in the way that if there were trees and there's branches broken off and they're not a part of the tree, well, they're not going to continue to grow. They certainly won't have any fruit there. And so that's the whole concept. But also, we know that many times he cuts back, where we feel we've been cut back and we're nothing but a stub left. And we got to see this firsthand when we had our farm, and we actually had grapevines along one of our small fences. And we saw that the only way for it to produce any fruit whatsoever was to cut it back till it was just stubs, and how it was able to come back stronger, and actually with grapes which, that's what he was really referring to. It took 3 times cutting it back to nothing. So if you're discouraged and you think, oh my gosh, every time I get somewhere, I can't get anything done, and you're trying, I would say just give up and just let him do it, and just really just keep telling him, I can't do this. Apart from you, I can do nothing. And my remedy and the way that I live is I just tell him I can't do it. I'm in the process of just another day away from having to move and having to pack up again every 3 weeks for over a year. And I'm exhausted from having to do it. And instead of getting stronger or even getting more organized, I became very organized in it. Apart from him, I can do nothing. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it now, and I hope to do it forever. I hope that I don't have to just get exhausted in order to put this into play and to live like this. I want to do it all the time, every day, because if I do, then everything I do will end up being worthwhile. It will be significant, and it will hopefully help to encourage you. So I hope you also will be encouraged.